Hello guys, remember me? I'm Orbiter, your Welsh engineer. And welcome to a tutorial showing you how to use MechJeb. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this simple just in case other people want to use this. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't go into too much detail in this already myself. I limited my tools to ascent guidance, docking, autopilot, some tools, RCS balance, I don't never use that, smart SAS, and information windows. But we'll get into as much as I can of this tutorial. Okay, so first off you have the ascendant guidance. Now you can plug in the numbers. You've got limiting the throttle or speed to terminal velocity. I always click that because it's supposed to be fuel efficient, but I'm not entirely sure. I've never had a full test. Now let's go through the numbers that I do mess around with though. Altitude, obviously, I'd sometimes mess with the inclination depending on what orbit I want. This is one I really like. Now, if you've got a huge rocket and you don't want it to turn over too quickly, you can lower this number down. It starts off with 5. I'm going to reduce it to 3. That limits how fast you turn. And it can affect the way you orbit, but yeah, the way your ascent guidance, your gravity turn goes, but it's not too bad. And here is another one I do. Ascent guidance path. Okay, this sets the altitude or when you start your gravity turn. You can see your graphic under here. You go up and then you turn up there. That's the old way of launching, but we want to start the turn as soon as possible. So put it as low as possible. I don't mess with anything else. Leave everything as it was. You can affect your gravity turn ratio. So let's put it 60. It's much more harsher. Let's put it to 10%. No, let's put it back to normal, 40%. So we're going to stick with that. Those are the values I normally use. Okay, and I also normally leave auto warp on, auto deploy solar panels, just in case you've got solar panels that want to deploy, and you forget to deploy them when you launch and you lose power. Okay, that's that. Also you're going to show ascent guidance, which will show you on the navel, and you can follow that yourself. Rather than have the computer do it, that's a good guide if you want to learn to launch yourself. But let's go and use the automated functions, because that's what MechJeb is famous for. So 3, 2, 1, alright, click engage autopilot, and then press spacebar. You stage, and obviously this is the Kerbal X, which we have to do an extra stage to let us go from the ground. And off we go, up into orbit. Right, we're starting gravity turn. You can see the status here. And limit whatever these light up green when you're saying for once it's activated. So I've limited to 3 degrees per movement or whatever it is called. So it's turning slowly. I've only put that on it because for larger rockets, in fact, I can turn it up to 5 for this launch. Okay. You'd also see if we go as faster than terminal velocity, that'll shine up green, light up green, and limit our speed, our throttle, you could say. And you should know the rest. This is just an easy way of getting into orbit. So I'll meet you in orbit and we can talk a bit more about what else MechJeb can do. Okay, so now we're coming to the final part of the ascent guidance. Obviously this is going to get you into orbit as well. It's not just for getting into space. So as you can see, it's created a manoeuvre node and it's going to put you in a 100 kilometer orbit, which I think is awesome. If you want to learn how to get into orbit, this is an awesome tool. Or perhaps you're building craft and you don't want to test it all the time, every craft all the time, just in case you're creating crazy contraptions and you can't get them in orbit. MechJeb can do all the testing for you. As you can see. Hey presto, we're in orbit and it does quite a fine job of it. Awesome stuff. Look, we're in 100 by 99 kilometer orbit. That is a it's almost perfect circle. Okay, so what else have we got in here? Let's get rid of that. We got the attitude adjustment. I haven't delved into this, so you have to excuse me with that. However, I do know, I've learned, let me bring up this. There is a MechJeb manual, however, it doesn't include this. It has the ranges for doing adjustments. I think this is from control of RCS and SAS. It can help you save fuel and everything, but I don't fiddle with that. However, it does give you these cool things, cool arrows showing the direction where you're travelling, orbital velocity, surface direction. Cool stuff. Okay, but I'm not going to delve into that. Right, custom window editor. This is cool to say, let's get into the orbit. And at the moment, I think we've got orbit info. So if we click on that, we've added that to that window. You can customize your own window, create a new window if you want. And let's delete that because we don't want that now. Remove. There you go. Cool stuff. By the way, these up here aren't MechJeb. They are Kerbal Engineer Redux, so that's a totally different mod. However, MechJeb does give you all the information, or most of the information that does. See, from there we got surface info, delta V stats of our spacecraft, vessel info, the current mass, thrust to weight ratio, and max thrust, orbit info, your height, your orbit period, periapsis, apoapsis, and angle of prograde, even your eccentricity of your orbit. Awesome stuff. And surface info. Most likely that you'll use that if you're using a spaceplane or something. Okay, I haven't got anything to dock with, damn it, I should have prepared for this beforehand. Okay, you have the docking autopilot, and we need something to dock with, so I'll be right back. I'll set up a scenario for that. Okay, so I've set up 2 spacecraft, both of them with docking ports, and before I go into the docking autopilot, let's quickly show you the smart SAS. Okay, so everyone knows the SAS and its janky controls, so if I turn that off, turn that way, put it on, and I point towards target. Look at that. Swings round quite fast, quite hard, and sometimes it overcorrects, and has to autocorrect itself back. But if I show you with MechJeb, so let's take that off. Again, we've got the smart SAS on. I've clicked on target. Now I'm going to head towards the target. It's going to do it slowly and carefully. You can see it's not so fast. However, it's doing it gently, and if you use that and you're using RCS, let's switch on the RCS. See, it's not wasting RCS trying to get there as fast as possible like the SAS does. It gives you a gentle control, which I think is awesome. Okay, now that's all set up. Let's go thrust towards it, and I have problems with my right mouse button now. Oh yeah, forgot stage. Let's head towards the craft. Okay, let's kill our speed completely now. Okay, that's good enough. Now, can we see the docking port here? No, we can't. Let's thrust to the other side of that. What you want to do first is control from your spacecraft docking port. I will turn the smart SAS off because we don't need that at the moment. I'll leave you discover the smart SAS tools because they're awesome. You can use them for... They give you extra controls than the normal SAS. You got kill rotation, you got orbit tools, prograde, retrograde, and normal, anti-normal, etc. You even got surface tools if you're using a space plane. And you got advanced, which I've never used before. Okay, right. Now we're coming up on this. Let's target the docking port. Whoa. Set as target. Now you can use the autopilot. Now if you engage autopilot, now let's put the draw bounding box in. And this is sort of like the safety limits, the safe distances of your spacecraft. So like if you start that, click that on, you've got your start distances, your start distance, your safe distance, your start distance. I think that draws the safe distance or something. Or at least it draws the bounding box to make sure that it knows what you're doing, you know, where you are. And no, there's no other boxes around, so we'll just limit ourselves with these. And first off, with MechJeb, it does it... how would I explain it? In a safe way. First off, it aligns the docking ports. Then it slowly heads towards the spacecraft. And you can adjust the speed, so let's put that to 1 meters per second to increase the speed of how we're going to dock. And you see it's lining us up first before it comes in for the final docking. Obviously, as you get closer, I think MechJeb reduces the speed that you dock at. So unless you've got a very finicky craft and you don't want it to be smashed to bits accidentally, you can reduce the speed. That also helps if you have frame rate issue with the games because you have a huge craft. And by the way, this is in version 1.0.5 because I can't find this mod in 1.1 yet. I hope they are going to do it. And there you go, we've docked. Awesome, easy stuff. Okay, so that is cool tools for your docking. Everything automatic, you don't have to worry about it. Alright, what else can we do now that we've undocked? Okay, so we've got docking autopilot. Flight recorder, I suppose we can quick talk on that. I haven't used this, but it looks cool that you can set, acceleration, altitude. Let's click mark. And it's supposed to give you a graph, I suppose. That's what I think it's supposed to be. I'm not sure whether it saves it or not, which would be awesome if it did. But it gives you all the information. But I don't need that. I've never used that, actually. But it looks cool if you could get it to work properly. Right, what else we got? Landing guidance. I don't have to show you that. It's easy enough. You just... Right, enter coordinates, pick a place on the map. Let's go visit down here. And you can engage land at KS pad or VAB or wherever. Land at target. And it'll automatically land you there. I'll quickly show you that on the MUN when we get there. First off, manoeuvre node editor. This is a cool tool. Now, for those of you who want to do a precise node, let's add a maneuver here. Let's say we're going to go for the MUN. So, boom, 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 boom. Let's get that MUN encounter. Whoa. And say you want to adjust it. Okay, we're going too fast, or say you're going 100 meters per second fast, per 100 in there. Click on the minus button, you can see the speed we need, or the delta V. Click that, and it adjusts your orbit, so it gets the height. Let's add 10 at a time. You can see then it's giving you more precise control of your move node. Ooh, we're going to impact MUN there. Bit more. What have we got here? Bit more. You can also change the time of your orbit. So let's say 30 seconds. Don't forget to put the S in there. Add time. Ooh. Okay, let's minus time. Make it a bit earlier. You can see then we're adding, adjusting our node until you get the orbit that you want, or whatever. It gives you the precise controls over your maneuver nodes, which you don't otherwise have if you're just fiddling with these things. So let's get rid of these things and use one I do love using. Okay, where is it? Maneuver node editor, maneuver node planner. Okay, transfer to the planet. You can circularize your orbit at different areas, say like a periapsis or apoapsis. You can circularize it so you have a nice perfect circle orbit. Or let's set that as a target. I'm gonna do a Hoffman transfer to target, create node. You can see we're gonna get impact MUN, but I like to use this. Too many nodes. Create and execute. If you're going to create a node, don't hit create and execute a node after. You can abort or follow maneuver node if you want. So our spacecraft is going to use this now, get to the MUN, and then perhaps I can show you the landing as when we get into the MUN orbit. Okay, so I've set ourselves up to go and visit the MUN. Let's focus in view on the MUN. And another neat tool you can do. Right, let's create a maneuver node here to get us in orbit around the MUN. Just simple basic maneuver. And just hit execute next node. Now the MechJeb is going to line itself up with the manoeuvre node, and then it's going to accelerate time if you've got this auto time warp on there. Otherwise it's going to do it all in real time. Towards the manoeuvre node. And where's the man? There we are. And it's going to automatically get us into orbit around the man. Without any fuss, no messing around. This is cool tools. This is what NASA does. It programs everything all on its own. Well, I suppose the difference with MechJeb and what NASA use. NASA use a computer, but it controls it by sending commands bit by bit to make sure that it doesn't they don't mess up, or the computer doesn't mess up. Okay, I'm going to bring up the Delta V stats. Let's see if we got enough Delta V to land. May not have, so I'm going to cheat by here because I just modified this from the Kerbal X. So, Missed Tools. Let's add some oxidizer and fuel. Close them. And let's get to the landing stuff. Awesome. So let's pick a target on the map. So let's land in this crater up here. And land that target. Now, if you were doing this on a world with, like Caribbean with air, it'll automatically deploy parachutes and whatnot. We haven't got any parachutes, so we haven't got a chance. Okay, you can see what it's doing now. It's aligning the orbit so it heads over the target we've just picked. And then it's going to accelerate time. It's going to come to a spot where it's going to reduce the orb, will reduce itself. It's going to automatically point to retrograde. Burn. And you can see here it gives you awesome stuff, awesome details. It's going to tell you how far away from the target you're going to land. Now it doesn't tell you, the distance after doing burns that you're going to slow you down. If you had problems with pinpoint landing, as I have been showing with my man based tutorial, then this will help you out. This will make things a lot easier. Okay, we know where we're going to land now. Also, if you use this, you can deploy parachute, deploy landing gear, and you can also do stage limits on when those will be happening. Just in case you have a lot of stages on here, or you have multiple landing legs. As you can see why I've chosen this, because we've got them in arch. Apparently someone pointed that out to me in one of my videos. I passed over the top of it. I didn't even notice it was there. Okay, the only problem with using this automation, you may accidentally choose a ledge or some lumpy area which you're going to tip over. So keep an eye on where you're going to... You can always auto-abort and land at any point. Land it anywhere. Okay, so once we've landed this, as a proof of concept, I suppose we can quickly go into RCS balancer. This is very simple. If I put smart translation on, you've got overdrive 100%, or you can reduce it. Overdrive increases the power when possible at the cost of RCS fuel efficiency. You've got advanced options. I've never used this because I've always relied on MechJeb controls. However, if you put too much RCS on your spacecraft, sometimes it can be a bit too much control for MechJeb and it freaks the hell out. I have no idea why. And there you go, we landed. And MechJeb had to tip us over. I'm not sure if we can... No, we can't use S. No, we haven't got enough power to right ourselves there. Well done, MechJeb. See, that's some of the things you can't plan for. So like if this design, you'd put a wider landing base on it to make sure it doesn't tip over. Okay, so what else can I show? Okay. We have rendezvous autopilot and rendezvous target. So if I get MechJeb out here again, orbit editor, select active vessel, rendezvous with Kerbal 1, apply. So we're back in orbit around Kerbal. And we should actually be near the vessel here. Let's give ourselves a bit more distance. Let's put 10 lead seconds on that. Now, if I apply that as a target and rendezvous autopilot, engage, this will get as close as possible, but up to, well, the desired distance, 100 meters. And that's something you can do for auto docking and everything. You also have rendezvous planner. We can do everything manually. Control everything you can do. This is actually doing everything automatically. So you can see we've burnt this node here, and if I go into map view, it should have adjusted our closest approach. See, separation 0 kilometers. That's awesome stuff. Okay, we're going to leave that behind now because I don't think there's anything else. Smart RCS. 0 revel. No idea about this. RCS throttle when engines are off. That's what you'll see if we turn the engine off. It'll try to use the RCS fuel to do your maneuvers. Let's close you up. Use RCS for rotation. You can turn that off to save fuel. Okay guys, so here we are with the rover I used for mining in my Mining Man series. So let's bring up the rover autopilot. And if we look by here, you've got heading control. Which way we head in? About 90. So if I put 90 now, you can see the heading, our heading direction down by here. So if I click on, it's going to steer us. If I speed up, try to turn ourselves, it's going to autocorrect to 90 degrees. So let's put this to, or is it, I think 120. That'll turn us towards the space plane hangar or the Kerbal Space Center. Now let's do the speed control. So we're not going to head too fast down this ramp here, and we can get at least a bit of speed going on. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Now you can do things like stability control, brake on pilot eject, brake on the energy depletion. So if we lose energy, the wheels will stop and brake, and not brake, but as in stopping the vehicle. Now there's another cool thing on here. So if I stop that now, click on waypoint, add a waypoint. You can't do this in map view, so you're going to have to stay in this view, zoom out. Let's add waypoint there, add another waypoint there. Tells you the ETA of them. And if we go back to this one and click follow, we'll automatically go in that direction. And you see it's following that path. That's awesome stuff. You can set as many of these as you want. You can save them, remove them, change things about them and whatnot. In the settings, you can change how fast your turn speed is going to be. So you can, if your rover's likely to tip over when you're going too fast, I turned this down 3 to make sure this wouldn't tip over when we're on the man or on any steep inclines, because I tested this out before. See, slow down, turn, and carry on. Awesome stuff. You can pretend that you have an automated rover on Juno with that. Okay, there's one last thing I want to show you with this. I'll let you explore the rest of this or explore on YouTube for other videos on controls on these. And that's on the space plane now. Okay, so here we are for the final part of this. This is the Ares A3 plane stock within the game when you go into sandbox mode. And the last thing we want to do is spaceplane guidance. I have not used this before. Now you've got landing and auto land. Abort auto land. Let's give it a go. Now I first off thought that spaceplane guidance was a way that you can fly around. This showing you where to go. You can hold your initial heading with that, which is cool. I don't think there's any other controls. You can use the smart SAS for surface, So stay level, and you've got all these controls then. Pitch your roll to point in certain directions. So anyway, let's go and take off, and we can try the auto land. There should be an auto takeoff as well for the planes, I think. Okay, so let's see if we can auto land. It's going to correct us automatically now. Can't control the SAS. Now, I've never used this before, and it looks like it's going to head for the ocean, the floor of the ocean. Abort. Obviously it's not 100%, so let's try this again. Auto land. I don't think this is going to work properly. No, there you go. That's the auto land. So obviously that does not work to 100%. I'm not sure if there was something I was doing wrong. Ooh, look at that. Spaceplane part. Anyway, guys, that is the quick guide for the... Let's revert to launch. That is the quick guide for MechJeb. It's not going to be 100%. Obviously, there's going to be better people out there who could explain that. I'm going to let you mosey on into all these controls, because there is a lot there. You could do an entire mission with this without having to touch the controls at all. Well, I assume. You probably have to do a touch of controls here and there. But anyway, that is the quick tutorial for MechJeb. Slapped and dapped. Hope you enjoy. If you liked the video, crank that like button like an engineer. I'm Orbator. Trust me, I am an engineer.